No other club but Manchester United as it exclusive between United and Bayern over the signing of Mathis de Ligt. Meanwhile, we've got an update on Sofian Amrabat and whether or not Ineos have decided to stick with him. I've got to tell you, guys, it's not done with Jean-Claire Todibo, according to a credible source. Welcome, like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment. This is the United Hotspot. My name is Webb. Let's get proper into it, guys. Look, watch out for what's coming because the United Hotspot is about to make that leap. Now, let's get proper into this talk. Now, Mathis de Ligt, it has emerged now, it has been clearly confirmed now that the talks ongoing between Man United and Bayern are not pressure talks. United is not under pressure because United is exclusively negotiating with the player. As we speak now, the deal is being prepared by his agent, Rafaela, and it is clear now, it has emerged that Manchester United is the only club that De Ligt would want to join if he leaves Bayern Munich. So what he has done is given the green light for only Manchester United to proceed with talks over him. And he's willing to even take a pay cut. So as we speak right now, the talks are advanced. And according to what we gather, it is likely that at least before the end of this week, we have made an official bid registered. We might have an official bid registered before the end of this week, probably even seal the deal, because with what is going on between the two parties behind the scenes, it seems there won't be a back and forth between the two parties. We will be seeing a progress to the deal. And honestly, that's what we want. The idea is for us to make it snappy and not waste so much time, especially on certain players. Already, when it comes to Branthwaite, Ineos seem to be pulling back. They seem to be stepping on the brakes, saying, you know what, we could deal away with this one. But for Mathis de Ligt, there is big progress going on. We could get him for about £34 million, almost the same fee which we are about to pay for Joshua Zirkzee. So the deal is going on. The progress is going on extremely well. This is the United Hotspot. Let's get proper talk about another centre back we've been linked with for some time in Jean-Claire Todibo. There was a report yesterday, of course, that West Ham United had tabled a 35 million euros bid for Jean-Claire Todibo. That was turned down by OGC Niche, and this is a true report. There are reports that West Ham are contemplating going back with another bid number 2 for him, an improved one. But Manchester United seem not to have completely bowed out. Remember, I told you that United has brought in a lawyer to try and help with them. Well, help them with this deal. Well, the lawyer is still working, and they're not fully giving up on Todibo. According to what we pick, it seems he was a player top in their plans. And from what we've seen, I think with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I think he will not just give up on a plan he had just because he got a small block, something blocking him. I think he will try to look for all possible means to get around it, even if he has to break the bank to do so. So I think he's trying to try his options and see if it completely fails, then he will get another plan to replace the interest we had in Todibo. But United are expected to go for, besides the lead, it is possible that United might bring in 2 other centre backs to make it 3 in total. Because already we know that Lindelof is most likely leaving. Harry Maguire is attracting attention from clubs in Italy. There is interest in him in Italy and elsewhere. So already Varane has already gone. So there are players to replace in the centre-back positions. And Ineos might be intent on bringing in 2 other centre-backs besides Mathis de Ligt. Of course, Branthwaite was in the conversations, but they might bring in 2 more. Even if they cancel out Branthwaite, Ineos might want to bring in more centre-backs. Remember, well, De Ligt is coming in for relatively cheap because they had put aside more money for him, but it looks they're going to sign him for not more than 50 million euros in total, including add-ons. So the cash they could pay could be about maybe 40 million euros and maybe 10 million euros in add-ons. So you see that they feel they could spare some bit of cash to add on another third player to replace the Maguires and the Lindelofs who are expected to leave as well. So that's a bit of what Ineos is doing right now, which I think, I believe for me, is again, we've been praying for depth, and I think they are trying to achieve that. Transfer tracker, a Manchester United talk. Now, this man, Sofian Amrabat, is indeed a man, he's this side. He's indeed a man doing, attracting a lot of attention for many people. They feel he should be staying. But first of all, look at that new kit. That's him in our new kit for next season. By the way, I feel like this is a very beautiful kit. I've always delayed. I've always not been moved by most of the kits we've had recently, but I think this is one I'm going to buy. This is one I'm going to buy and put in our new set that we are working on. I think this is the one we are going to put there. I was thinking, which one shall we put in the new set we are working on for the United Hotspot? I think this is it. Look at it. It looks so good, honestly. And of course, Amrabat himself also makes it look good, but I like it. It looks class. It's neat. I never liked most of the others. That's why I went for an old one, this a vintage Vodafone. But I love this one, and it gives me a good feeling. It's a Premier League winning jersey. It's a Premier League winning kit. But Sophia and Amrabat, well, as it looks, as it seems, guys, for me, I think Ineos might be bringing Sophia, keeping Sophia and Amrabat because they, I think it should be the list of concerns. I think it shouldn't be top on their radar. If they have spoken to Fiorentina and given them the assurance that they are going to keep him, I think for me they don't have to rush, with him to make it known to the public. I think just giving him the kit and releasing photos of him, images of him in the new kit for next season. Of course, it's not like they took them yesterday, the day they released them. Probably they took them way earlier. But for me, just him being a part of them, I think shows me that they've got him in the plans for the club. So I think most likely Amrabat is going to be staying. We are going to get that confirmation very soon, obviously. But I think Amrabat will be staying at Man United, which I think would be a good thing because again, it is just besides the cash that we would have had was we would have to pay an extra about £15 million for him to stay permanently. But it eases the pressure of again going into the market and trying to look for another holding midfielder and then try to hope that it works because we've had quite a number of them even during Sir Alex Ferguson's time that came in high value, brought for decent amounts, high amounts, but they did not perform. It's always not easy to find the right player to fit into that role. So if you get an Amrabat who can show you that on a good day can put on the performance as he did against Man City, against Arsenal in the final days of the season, and he's available for just an extra 15 million, I think you'd want to gamble. Better the devil you know than the angel you don't. So you want to gamble with them. So I think Ineos are choosing to do that. At least bring in a bigger name ahead of him and keep him in the rotation. I think it's good as that. For me, if Amrabat is staying as not as our first option of a number six, I think he can stay. But also he can fight and become the first option. Or he can be the big game player because there are players who are big game players. Because you look at a game like you're facing a Man City and you want someone who's going to do what you call the donkey work in the middle. Amrabat has proven that he can be that player. So we might want to keep him for that as well because he's cheap. For me, that's the most important thing. But also he has shown signs that he can be good. He's not really world class per se, but he has shown signs that he can be good. So for me, Sophia Amrabat, I feel I'm beginning to get a sense that he will be staying at Manchester United. And of course, you can drop down in the comment section and give me your opinion on whether you think he should stay or not. But for me, I think it's without a shadow of a doubt, it looks likely now that he will stay. And of course, the fans, many United supporters will be happy about that. I was seeing images of him. I think they were saying he was in Tanzania on a holiday during this off season, and he was enjoying himself, taking photos with army men and stuff. So he's really highly regarded. Perhaps that army guy I saw is a Man United supporter. But I think for me, Amrabat looks to be destined to start Manchester United. Forget what you had. But because Fiorentina, if he was not going to stay, Fiorentina needed to know because there are other clubs in the Premier League that were interested in him. So this is the time when Fiorentina would be expecting or getting bids from other clubs to try and get him. So I think Man United have told them, you know what, calm down. We are taking him. We'll send your cash soon. It's not a concern. They know the contract because there was a clause that United could either trigger or not, and a clause, and Fiorentina insisted on that clause to include it, a clause to for United to have that option of buying him, and the figure was also agreed on. So I think they might be willing to figure that, which I think for me would be a good thing. You get your Ugarte, who people are having reservations about in terms of injuries. For me, I think at this point I'm least concerned about us signing players who are unfit because I feel like Ineos have done a lot away from the pitch to constitute a team that can make sure we don't sign injury-prone players. So I have no reservations about the guys, the team, the Garrod Riscos, and everyone they're trying to bring in terms of the medical team. So I'm not concerned about Ugarte. People are talking about his injury concern, but by the time Man United are willing to make him our marquee signing, come into that place, the number 6, which I think is the most important department for us to sort. I think they will have made their homework proper. and he should be fit enough to come in and give us minutes. So that's I think a bit of a wrap up of where we are standing right now. The biggest news for me is that the exclusivity. There is no pressure. The exclusivity when it comes to Mathis Delete, but also Joshua Zakzi, guys, he's been silent, but it's not because nothing's been done. It's been silent because it's nearly done. We've all said it probably, and soon it's going to be the case with Mathis Delete. But there is progress every day with Delete that we clearly see that we're following closely. With Joshua Zakzi, I think there is no doubt. There is no doubt. I think it's a question of now him coming. I feel like Joshua Zakzi. The reason it looks like it's silent now is partly because it's at the Euros, and his case is different from the Elite. I think for him, his presence is maybe because there are certain players where their presence is needed for them to sort a deal, for a deal to move. That maybe is focused on the Euros now. Netherlands is advancing and stuff. But with Delete, his agent is Rafaela is getting things done. He's proper progressing in terms of talks with Man United and stuff. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean there is no progress. With Joshua Zakzi, I think it's almost nearly as confirmed, perhaps even more confirmed than it is with Delete, because his director himself, Satori, made it clear just a few days ago that 99.9% chance Zakzi is not staying at Bologna. Well, he didn't mention that he's joining Man United, but if you read between the lines and follow the conversations, you'll probably see that indeed he will probably join Man United. Now, Calafiori is the other centre back who is available, of course, destined to leave. Is this a bid? Someone was asking me why doesn't Man United jump onto the Calafiori wagon that has got Arsenal and Chelsea? Well, Juventus, I think, were knocked off because they are not preferred by the director of Bologna. They don't want to sell to Juventus because it's personal. But well, I think for me, it's good to stick to a plan. Don't jump onto every player because they're available. You want to have your plan in place and stick with it if you trust it. So I don't see a reason why United will leave the players they were interested in and jump onto another player who have not really been monitoring, and perhaps, but also the way Calafiori plays might not be the way that what Eric Ten Hag wants to do with where we're headed now. So for me, yes, Calafiori is a good player. He has proven that, but not worth us, veering off our plan. If it were a Kylian Mbappe available for a cheap, maybe I would listen. But Calafiori, yeah, he's good, but we can stick to our Todibo, try to push through Todibo, stick to our Delete, even Branthwaite, if they feel he's a good player for our future. Just the thing is, he's really overpriced a bit. But that's where we are. Like, share, subscribe. My name is Webb, and I'll catch you later, fam.